What's up, y'all? We about to talk about two football matches that happened today. Your boys finally getting over the flu. Don't mind my lip. I had a fever blister, and yes, it hurts a lot, okay? So don't mind my lip, all right? Now, with that being said, I watched Manchester United versus Arsenal, and I watched the highlights to Real Madrid game because, look, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm not waking up that early unless you're my team. People continuously think that I wake up to watch Real Madrid and I don't wake up to watch Barcelona. Knock it off, bro. Unless you are Benfica, unless you are the Portuguese national team, or unless you are my Washington Commanders, I'm not waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning to watch your football match. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen. It's crazy. There's no way. But I will watch the highlights. So I watched Real Madrid's highlights, and I guess let's kick off right there because there's two things I want to say about the Real Madrid highlights. And again, in highlights, you can't really talk too much about the game. But what you can talk about is Mbappe, dude. And what it is to have Mbappe and how much probably better Mbappe is going to get as a football player. And you're probably saying to me like, Skills, what are you talking about, lad? Well, hear me out for 1 second, right? Did you guys see the first goal? If you watched the first goal and you saw what Mbappe did, he created it from the midfield line and ran forward. And this is usually what he used to do at PSG when he played on the wing. Because when you're on the wing, you're kind of in deeper positions. Mbappe is very good at running from deeper positions and scoring a goal. And it's very different than playing just the number 9 position, right? Because the number 9 positions, you're not as deep as a winger usually is. And the way Mbappe set this play up, it shows you how great he is when he's in those deeper positions. And as he develops at this 9 position, I think he will be and will continue to be the best in that position once he gets it. But while it takes time to get there, there's little things that he does better when he's deeper in the field, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense what I just said to you, but the first goal that he scored, the way he started it in the midfield, runs on, the talent to be able to just beat defenders, put it into the back of the net, it's a phenomenal goal, man. It's a goal that honestly, I don't think anybody can hate on that goal or say something negative about it. It's just a beautiful football goal, man. And then the second goal for Real Madrid is Vinny doing Vinny type things. It's very good to see Vinny back on the scoreboard, and I think they needed that very much because with the game against Atletico Madrid coming in the Champions League, an important game, with the games they're going to have going forward, right? Because if they do get by Atletico Madrid, I want to say maybe they're going to be facing Arsenal. So the games that Madrid have going forward, if they get by Atletico Madrid, are not easy football matches, and you need Vinny at the top form. And you need him being able to score goals. So I think he hadn't scored a goal for a pretty long time in La Liga or just in general. And yeah, he hits the back of the net today, so it was important. So another massive 3 points for Real Madrid. They get a little bit closer or on top of Barcelona. And La Liga is coming down to the wire, man. It's pretty awesome to see a really, really good La Liga season this year. I want to talk about Manchester United because that's the game I watched. I watched the full game. I don't understand why Manchester United can't play like this week in and week out. I truly don't get it. I don't get, like, if they performed the way they performed today, they wouldn't be losing so many matches. And you're probably wondering to yourself, well, Skills, what does that mean exactly? Because they didn't win today and it wasn't this great performance, but it was an organized performance. They attacked as a unit. They defended as a unit. They played as a unit. And when you really sit down and you look at this football match, I truly believe Manchester United should have won this game. Just towards the back end of the game, Højlund had 2 opportunities to put Manchester United ahead. Bruno Fernandes had a chance late in the game that really should have won it. And it's just a crazy double save out of the Arsenal keeper. It's just a team that really outplayed. Not outplayed. I don't want to say they outplayed them, but they played a full match, if that makes sense. They played great defensively. The midfield was good. The forwards were good. It was an all-around good football match for Manchester United. And you think to yourself, man, why can't they give this all the time? Why can't they be this team every single weekend? Like, what's holding them back from it? And I truly don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the lack of motivation against the smaller teams. I don't know if the players feel because they play for Manchester United that they automatically deserve more. I'm not sure what it is. I can't really explain to you what it is. I can't comprehend what it is. it's just one of those things that I can't put my finger on it, man. I cannot put my finger on it. And then on the other side of, the table, you have Arsenal, that 15 points from Liverpool is crazy. And it really starts to make you, I don't want to be that guy, but I think it really starts to maybe have Arsenal fans start to think, right? Like, is the Arteta time done? And I'm not saying Arteta should be sacked. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it brings up questions, right? Because this team that you couldn't get by, Man City, this team you couldn't seem to take the league away from them this year, just having a stinker of a season, yet you're not the team that stepped up and took it. You're the team that came 15 points behind Liverpool at the moment. So it's not a thing of Manchester City. It's not a thing of how good Guardiola's teams are. It's just a thing of, it seems like Arsenal are not ready to take that step to win the league. And Arteta's had a lot of time with them, and he has built something very special. And Arsenal are a really sick team. But today has to be just disappointing, right? Yes, it's Manchester United at the end of the day, but you're playing a team that's like in 14th, 15th place. That's just what it is. You're playing a team that is struggling massively since Ruben Amorim took over. It's playing a team that has struggled to score goals, has struggled to defend, a keeper that's been shaky all season, and you couldn't beat them. You were chasing them the entire 90 minutes. Even when you tied the game, you never looked likely to win the game. I don't know. It's a very tough situation for Arsenal and their fans, man, because they shouldn't be 15 points behind. And with the stinker City's having, the only team that should be close to them is Arsenal because of the season they had last year, and they're not even close. So it's not a good look for Arteta. It's not a good look for Arsenal. To jump back to Manchester United and talk about a couple performances, this Heaven kid, is that how you say his name? He was phenomenal today. That was a very, very good performance from him. He really stood out to me. Lindelof did his thing too. And I know Lindelof is leaving in the summertime. Supposedly Benfica is talking about re-signing him because he was at Benfica. And I think it is time for Lindelof to leave Manchester United. Even though he gave a good performance today, I do think it's time for him to go. I think it's time for a lot of the old people that were at Manchester United to get cleaned out and to go a different direction. And I don't think any player should be safe at Manchester United. I'll give you a quick example real quick. My Washington Commanders, which is the American football team, we had an owner for a really long time that was just in shambles, and we were just a losing team. We always lost. That owner sold, and when that owner sold, we brought new people in, and these people cleaned it out. They kind of got rid of everyone that was ever part of the losing time, and they kept a couple pieces, but even those pieces slowly are leaving this year. And we started winning. We went all the way to the game before the Super Bowl, right? And we're just a much better organization. And I think for Manchester United, they need to get some of those players out that have just been there for too long, and they kind of got that stinker in their system. They know what it's been, what have been going on between those walls, and it's almost good to clear it out. So players like Lindelof and stuff, I think is really good for them to leave. But Heaven today was really good, man. He was a player that really, really stood out for me. On defense, really stood out to me taking the ball forward. Same with Lindelof. He was very good taking the ball forward and a couple plays there towards the end of the game. But just all around a good performance from Manchester United. And like I said, if they could play like this week in, week out, they wouldn't be in 14th. They'd be somewhere in the top 10, I would believe. But they can't. And I don't know why they can't. I don't know what it is. Ruben Amorim has shown signs of, his system could work, but he really needs the players to be able to make it work. So it's going to be interesting what the board and what the ownership does at Manchester United. Do they give this guy time? Do they let him bring his players in and see what he could do with his players? Because it's not easy for anybody to just take a team that's a 4-back system and change it to a 5-back system, and the system works perfectly. You got to be able to buy players. You got to be able to bring in talent that can play that system. And understand that system. So we'll see. We'll see if they give him time or if he's gone by the summer. I don't know what's going to happen. If I'm being truly honest with you, I have no idea what's going to happen at Manchester United. But I do think they should have beat Arsenal today. Big win for Mbappe and Real Madrid. La Liga is very, very exciting to watch this year. I'm sad I've missed the Barca game last week and the Real Madrid game this week because I ain't waking up that early to watch football. If it's not my Benfica, I ain't doing it. That's come on, man. Stop that. Knock it off.